The other team in that division, Russell Wilson in Seattle, they're another team that you heard some rumors because Russ is going into the last year of his contract. So you've heard potential rumors about that. Me as a Bucks fan, I wouldn't mind it, but what it's going to cost to get him. I don't think it's. I think he can wait a year. I think he knows that Seattle, Pete Carroll isn't getting any younger. That situation isn't getting any better. So I think he's going to wait a year and then walk. If they'll let him, they might franchise tag him. Who knows? Who knows how it's going to play out? So there could be a potential thing, though. He's in the last year of his deal, so he could end up going somewhere. Ultimately, I have him staying in Seattle, though. What do you guys think?
What I got for Russell is I agree with you, Brian. He's gonna stay in Seattle. He's just gonna finish it out. I would assume just to save face for himself. It's not like he can't be productive with that team. He's got a team around him. He's got a running game. He just give the guy an offensive line for a year. See if you kind of solve it. Yeah, like run it with one office. Spend some money on the O line.
You do. You know? But it's hard because they paid him so much money, so it's hard to surround him with talent, man. That's tough.
That's the effect of all these court. Like Kyler, you want $50 million. Okay, we might have to pay you that. That's what I guess we pay guys now. What do you want me to do in the future? Like that's but what we went over Kyler. But back to Seattle and Russell. I got Denver as a fit. As far as like they're going to swing. Denver's going to swing on absolutely everyone. They're going to swing on Aaron. I expect them to, if Aaron leaves Green Bay, well, I mean, we're not going to cover that. I'm sorry. But we got and then I also got like maybe like a team like the Raiders say they want to swap them, and then that's something like the Seahawks can potentially win that trade. You might send Derek Carr in a draft pick, right? You would think because depends on that. And then I also got Pittsburgh if they're going to swing. You would think Russ will be a natural fit. AFC, hey, give them to us. We don't bother you, right? And then go ahead and then maybe like because of Pete Carroll, I'm gonna give Pete Carroll a shout out for defense. I could see maybe like Washington because no one takes the Commanders serious, right? So maybe that Chase Young bait they're trying to throw out, you can maybe get Russell Wilson and then win that trade too, because you can what do you get Chase Young and you're like, no, bro, give us that 11. You don't know, but I'm saying those are teams that I got where it's like, all right, you want to move? Let's move.
So I really like when you brought up Denver. Now I've talked about how I thought Aaron Rodgers would be a good fit in Denver. I actually think that there's a stronger possibility that Russ ends up in Denver than Aaron Rodgers. And here's why, and we'll get into Aaron Rodgers here in a little bit. I really like that trade because that number 9 pick coming from Denver would come into play. Now, I think the problem with Russ and what he doesn't like is when you talk about upgrading offensive line, either you go out and you spend the money, which they don't have, or you go out and do it in their draft, which they don't have. So they don't have draft picks. They sent all those picks to New York for Jamal Adams. So they don't have a first-round pick. I don't think they have one next year either. So that's his kind of problem right now is he's talked about over the last 2 years how he wants to play for somebody with an offensive line. And it's not really about the weaponry. I think he can make any kind of weaponry out of anybody. But Denver, they have the weapons. They have a pretty decent offensive line down there. They're ready to rock. They got a good run game. They have good young players on defense. If they can stay healthy, that's a team that they are a quarterback away from really being a strong contender. But the problem with that is they're in a really strong division too. So I do see them.
Hey, we saw what the NFC West, man. 3 teams can get in.
Yeah. There's that. I do agree with the Raiders fit even. I had on my sheet, I actually had him in until I thought about Denver. That might be a better fit for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Raiders have a good offensive line. They have a good young, strong running back. I actually have him on the move. I think that this trade actually gets done right before the draft. And I do think that Seattle goes and gets a guy that plays just like Russell Wilson in the draft, a kid by the name of Malik Willis. And they use the number 9 pick that they get from Denver to do that. and to start fresh and to go that direction, and then they can start building around the future. Because I do think this is Pete Carroll's last year. He's up there in age. He's 77, 78 years old. He's up there in age. He's getting up there. I think that team kind of realizes it. I think Russ realizes it. And he's got 5, 6, 7 years left. I mean, he's still kind of a young buck. And you keep him healthy, man. And, you throw this last year out because the outlier, because of the finger, but you throw the rest of that out. I think that this guy can go and he can really ball out for these teams that are still building. And he's the guy that can do it. So I do think he's on the move. And I think it's to a team like Denver that has the money for him, that has the need for him, out of the division, because BT always talks about being out of the division, out of the conference.
Absolutely.
I mean, it checks every box.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
I just can't. I don't see that. If Pete Carroll, you might as well retire right now if you're going to do that, because I don't see any way in hell that's going to happen. He's got Russell Wilson. He's trying to win this year. We just talked about winning this year. Malik Willis don't give you a better chance than Russell Wilson. You might as well pack your bags. It's Pete Carroll.
I think Pete Carroll realizes that even with Russ, he ain't winning this year. There ain't no way in hell Seattle's winning that division or that conference.
Russ missed like 5 games or whatever it was. They went 1-4 during those games, and it was the first time. I think he still almost made 500. He's never had a losing season in his life. He's a winner. It's what he does.
Yeah, I would never count out Seattle, dude, any year, dude. Just I've seen too much Seattle football. I mean,
he's the magic man.
They've played a part in a numerous of emotional scars. And I can tell you, you want to talk about the NFC quarterback conference being weak. Well, Russell Wilson, he's top 3 then? He's definitely top 3. So
now, looking up and down, he's healthy. Sure as shit is up there. So
I'll take him over all those guys.
Yeah, as long as he's healthy, bro, he's a killer, bro. I'm Russell Wilson's he's
you can't just give that away for the number 9 pick and whatever. There's no way.
That's why I said Carr, because Carr actually extends Pete Carroll, right? Like now you get a little bit younger. You invest in a whole new guy. You're going in a different way.
That because it can insure you a little bit. That one makes kind of sense, but it's just.
I mean, it's a downgrade. It's a downgrade, but it's
big time. It is, but if you can get draft picks and something else with it, and he's cheaper, then because Derek Carr, I'm a believer in Derek Carr, man. I think he's a damn good quarterback. So that wouldn't be the worst thing, but he's still a downgrade. I think he stays. Ultimately, that's me. That's my week 1 starter in Seattle is definitely Russ.